Alright, so Dune Part Two is officially released in theaters, and I'm so glad that this is released after a long time of waiting. And with the movie itself, it is incredible. Plus, I love Timothee Chalamet as his portrayal of Paul Atreides, especially with Zendaya and the world that Denis Villeneuve has created. And now we're going into spoiler territory, going over the ending and how it sets up the third movie with Dune Messiah, which is another adaptation of the book series. And just to talk about my overall thoughts of the film, also go over what happens, especially throughout the entire movie as well. And so this will be my breakdown and the explained for Dune Part Two, and so much more. And plus, so if you haven't seen the movie, this is gonna be your spoiler warning. So click away now and come back to this video after you've seen the movie, and we'll still be here. And so if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And so let's get to it. And now, essentially, what the whole point of this film is that this is the direct follow-up to the first Dune, where we have Paul Atreides, who's now part of the Freeman culture, and now they're still going to survive. Now, this is taking place immediately after the first movie. Now, we have Paul and his mom, played by Rebecca Ferguson, as they're being hunted by bounty hunters and some soldiers and trying to kill them and planting explosives. And then we see Paul using his fighting skills here to defeat the soldier, and then we see everyone trying to gather up, especially what their plan is, and then where's still a against some campground going. And then we see the return of Zendaya's character, and even is still played by Javier Bardem, and even with Florence Pugh's character, who is Princess Erline, and I believe that Paul Atreides is alive, because even after the events of the first movie, because this is the exact premise of where Paul is out for revenge against the people that destroyed his family, including that murdered his dad, and even with a Hart Connigan that is now after Arrakis, and that is with a Dave Bautista's character, who's also a part of it as well. And now, with the villain that we see here, his name is Vida Horsta, played by Austin Butler, and even with his hand-to-hand combat that was introduced in this film when he was fighting a bunch of guys, and that was to celebrate his birthday, and even with his uncle, played by Stellan Skarsgård, watching over him as he goes to prove to show of who he truly is, and just defeating them, and even with this technique that he uses on this guy, it's kind of like foreshadowing the final act of the movie, which I'm gonna get to in a bit here. And that's how he defeats these guys, and even from he's gonna help them, and what he does is that he's gonna help them invade Arrakis, and that's gonna set us up this whole war that happens in the final act of the film. Especially that this is very important here, is that we see Paul having a vision after drinking the water of life, and then we see him having a vision into the future, where we see his sister, and we get an appearance from Anya Taylor-Joy, and I think it's nice that she made a cameo, an appearance in this, especially as Paul's sister in the future, and I think she'll have a very important role, especially in Dune Messiah, and which I think is the third film in Denis Villeneuve's a film series, and especially for how they want to adapt this part of the story, especially with this entire film series with Dune and Dune Part Two. And I think with having Paul's sister introduced, I think she'll definitely be like an MVP. And even that we see Paul's mom thought the film that she is pregnant, and even after drinking that poison, after revealing that she is pregnant, and we see that throughout the entire parts of the movie, just so that he has a sister coming. Now, also, we see earlier in the movie when Lady Jessica becomes the replacement for Reverend Mother by drinking the water of life, and plus this is the poison that she drinks, and now with all the life that is in her, I'm not sure if that affected her pregnancy, especially throughout the film, but we'll see how it is. And plus, being she is pregnant with her daughter. Even with Paula going into war, and despite the reality of him going south, of him drinking the water of life, he wants to become the Lizingi Arab, which like the Freeman term of an awful prophet, or a Messiah, and it's also an Arabic term for tongue. And now we see this epic final battle go down. And that's with the hard Carnigan going to invade Arrakis. You can like this is a whole setup for what's to come, and then we see this whole fight go down between a Garni and a Glassy, and this is with, you can only imagine this with Thanos and Drax fighting each other, and like I'm so happy that this fight scene went down, and we got to see our two MCU stars going head to head. I mean, this was nice to see with the fight between the two. And next thing that we hear is that this with Paul's plan to become emperor and to rule Arrakis, and that he has drank the water of life, and then he suddenly goes into a coma, and then we thinking that he is dead, but only for just a couple minutes, and then we see Chaney here noticing that he is dead, and that they poison him, but then with Chaney, what we see her do is that we see her taking a tear, and that means from her life, and directly into Paul, and that wakes him up, and then suddenly goes into a final battle, which leads into the final minutes of the movie, and that's what Paul challenging Christopher Walken's character, who is training him to a duel, but then we see a Feed stepping in to have that duel, and to have that blade join him on the fight. And now, in this final fight that we see here, it is with Paul versus Feed, and with the first things that Paul says right before they fight and have their duel is a Mayor Knife, Chip, and Shatter, and then we see them having the epic duel with their blades, and then it ends with Feed doing this technique on Paul, the way that we saw him from the way that he was introduced in the film, and then from what we see Paul do, it's like a nail down, and suddenly kills Feed, and that is sort of killing him, and that means that he has won. But then let's go show that with Feed planted a blade inside of him, but then with Paul he had another blade inside of Feed, so that goes show that Paul is alive, that he did not get killed. For how this movie ends is that we see Paul excited early, and that he is the emperor, and that she wants to rule with him, so that they can rule Arrakis together, and that makes Chaney want to walk away from Paul as he is accepted it. And then we see within the final minutes of the movie is with Paul chaining to the Freeman as they go to paradise, and that means with a big war that's about to go down. Then we see Lady Jessica telling her daughter that war is coming, and that is something that's going to be explored in Dune Messiah, which is another adaptation for the third Dune film, and I kind of wait to see what they unpack in there. Maybe if it's the last movie, and then with this movie's final shot, we see Chaney about to ride the sandworm, as we saw Paul do earlier on in the film, and that's just the perfect way to conclude this movie, is with a final shot of Chaney's face, and that is proof that a war is coming. And yeah, so I really enjoyed my time with Dune Part 2. I thought it was an amazing, incredible movie, and even though I now saw the twice, and it was just amazing to catch all those details, especially with the ending and how it sets up the next Dune movie, and for that fight, and now with Paul, I think he's definitely going to have a big role, especially as he's now the Emperor, and now going to rule Arrakis and bring Erlina with him. And now I think big things are about to happen in Dune Messiah that is going to be explored a lot more, so I can't wait to see what's next as well. And so that's going to be it for this video, and just let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and what your thoughts on Dune Part 2 if you've seen the movie, and let me know what you thought of the ending. Just let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for future videos, and also follow all my social with the link down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.